from the stalls using that water bucket. But perhaps I confused the germs with you? Frankly, it's challenging to differentiate, especially when you're perpetually engaging with the toilet.
I gather your name is Daniel Rojas. Would you mind clarifying why you decided to drench me with water, young man? I trust there's a substantial justification. Do explain. I'm entirely ready to listen.
I noticed an elderly woman scrubbing the bathroom stalls. I figured I could lend a hand by ensuring the old lady was cleaned as well, after handling those urinals. Is that a compelling reason for you? I realize how magnanimous it was of me. Find the silver lining, old lady. Now, there's no need for you to shower. You can proceed directly to bed. It's common knowledge that the elderly struggle with staying awake.
I was uncertain about your intentions when you requested my contact details. Yet I was optimistic that you would provide a reasonable explanation. Maybe you were having a tough day and needed someone to vent your frustration on. Perhaps after seeing your actions, you felt remorse and wanted to apologize. However, it appears you only wanted to reach out to me to mock me further. I can't fathom why someone would go to such lengths. Mr. Rojas. Allow an old woman to say this. But in my time, dousing someone with a bucket of water was seen as extremely disrespectful. If this was a school setting, I would have believed you were attempting to bully me. I fear you are not suited to be part of this company's workforce.
As if you'd know. You're not even a regular employee. You're merely the janitor, aren't you? Your job is to clean bathroom stalls daily. I'd wager you're working as a janitor, because you were unable to secure a decent job. Did you not complete college? Or perhaps high school? We both know you wouldn't be in this menial job if you had any real skills. I'm ecstatic that I'm far superior to you.
I see you hold severe biases against the janitorial staff. This could pose a problem. Just to verify, you're one of the company's recent hires, correct? I'm afraid the training team will need to be informed about this incident.
Oh, really? And you think I should be worried? No one will pay attention to a complaint made by an old janitor. You can report it, but nothing will come of it. I understand my value in this company. I'm essential, and everyone is aware of it. You should feel fortunate I didn't shove your head in the toilet. Or even better, that I didn't get you fired.
You? Fire me?
Yes. Unlike you, I am a genuine employee here. And a special one at that. They'd terminate you immediately if I demanded it. This gives me an interesting thought. Want to validate my theory?
I see where this is going. You're beyond redemption, aren't you? I suppose you still haven't figured out who I am. Otherwise, you wouldn't be behaving this way.
So now you're hallucinating. I get it. It comes with age. It happens. But honestly, how intimidating can you possibly be? You're just an elderly woman who cleans the restrooms. Such an unglamorous role. Maybe you've been employed here for quite some time? Perhaps some employees consider you a charming old lady? I'm uncertain, but it's irrelevant. Either way, my importance to this company far surpasses yours. Therefore, for your own good, you'd better start showing some deference.
Really now? I'm curious. Did you develop such an attitude? Because of what they taught you during your training? Or is it merely your own issue? I truly hope it's the latter. I have never encountered such an obnoxious, arrogant, and detestable newcomer during my tenure here. You've astounded me.
Ah, so you've indeed been here for a while. Well, a heads up, old woman. Maybe everyone else was too polite to treat you as you deserved. But I'm not one of them. If you're not performing your cleaning duties well, then I'm here to give you a reality check. Consider it a form of tough love from a coach to their players.
And how, precisely, are you helping by drenching the players? You must realize, you aren't exactly a positive influence here. You're hindering, not assisting, in the completion of my work. Do you imagine that you can behave this way without repercussions? I'm unsure of your past experiences. But in the world of adults, actions do have consequences.
How amusing, a life lecture from a janitor. Are you a sagely guru cleverly disguised as an elderly custodian? I don't know about your past, but replacements for janitors are easily found, don't you think? We can always find a substitute if your performance is lacking, or if we simply find you disagreeable. I suggest you consider sealing those loose lips of yours.
You might have a point. We are all replaceable. If someone fails in their duties, termination is a likely consequence. Which makes me question why you believe yourself exempt from this reality. No matter the disparity in our job descriptions, there's always a risk that we could make a mistake and lose our positions. Someone else is always waiting in the wings, eager to take over.
But they've just hired me. I'm fresh out of college, and impressed the interviewers so much they hired me on the spot. That's the difference between us, elderly lady. I am an asset to the company, you, on the other hand, are not.
Your audacity is truly something. It's like attempting to penetrate a wall of bricks with my words. I'll ask you once again. Why did you behave so poorly earlier?
Oh, my previous explanation didn't satisfy you? Let me concoct a different one then. Let's see. How about this? I was having an awful day and needed to lighten up. I noticed an elderly janitor neglecting her duties, so I decided to offer some lessons. That brightened up my day, and I resumed my work in high spirits. Does that appease you? You've been most helpful in lifting my spirits. Thank you.
You truly believe that narrative justifies your actions?
Indeed, I do. It hardly matters, anyway. It's time you realized our distinct statuses, old woman. No one is interested in you. I have free reign. I'm extraordinary. And you're just a janitor. You are powerless.
I see. Perhaps it's time your superior was informed of this matter as well. I'm certain he can educate you on being a respectable adult.
What? You think that will frighten me? Oh no, please, not the boss. Really, I'm pretty certain they won't take your word over mine.
Employing someone like you isn't Daniel official for the company. Today, it was me you insulted. But who's to say you won't humiliate others from different walks of life in the future? It seems to me the company would fare better without you.
Don't get ahead of yourself just yet. Here's a thought. How about you become my personal assistant? You can start your new role by handing over $500 to me tomorrow. I could use it for some after-work gambling.
That's stepping over the line. I hope I was your first and last victim. You're not subjecting the other staff to the same treatment, are you?
What? Of course, I am. You're not the first janitor I've encountered. I hate to break it to you, but you just aren't that unique. I had a similar encounter with an old man cleaning the bathrooms on the first floor a few days ago. I gave him quite the scare. It was hilarious, really. He was such a wimp. A little shove and he handed over his wallet to me.
I can't believe what I'm hearing. Who is this man? Do you know his name?
How would I know? Come to think of it, he's been conspicuously absent recently. Maybe he resigned. Or perhaps he died of shock. He seemed particularly petrified. All I did was dunk his head in a toilet. But he evidently wasn't man enough to handle it. What a shame. Anyway, you're next. Prepare yourself, today was only the start. We're going to have a grand time together.
I suggested that your actions were reminiscent of a school bully. But now I realize you're truly one. Is that how you spent your formative years? I've heard enough. I will be ready.
Interesting, maybe I underestimated you. You might be an old woman, but you're tougher than I first thought. I respect that. Here's a proposition, I'll go easy on you. If you hand over your cash to me, I assure you I won't harm you. Sound fair? You can then carry on with your work.
Indeed. Very well. Elaine, I need your input on a matter related to our newest team members. Are things proceeding smoothly?
Hi, boss. So far, all our recruits are performing admirably. Albeit, there's one exception. I believe we might need to reconsider our recruitment procedures. We tend to be lenient with some candidates. Perhaps because they're kin of our staff or friends in need of employment. But I believe we should conduct thorough background checks before finalizing their employment. Just my thoughts on this matter. May I ask why you've inquired?
We've been lenient, you say. Usually, those who Daniele fit from such consideration appreciate the advantage they've been granted. They strive to justify their selection, given the circumstances aren't exactly equitable to the other contenders who missed out. And they generally perform well. However, this doesn't seem to be the case this time, does it?
Indeed. It seems like they don't comprehend the rationale behind their preferential treatment. Their arrogance is a tad overpowering. It's as though they're acting entitled. It appears they misconstrue special treatment as a testament to their superiority over others. It wouldn't irk me if they were delivering on their responsibilities. But that's not the case. They're offloading their tasks to the other recruits, which I believe is sparking tension among the newbies. I've attempted to intervene, but the situation seems to be escalating. Why can't everyone just maintain harmony? We're meant to function as a team.
It's been a while since I've seen you so vexed. You usually enjoy mentoring the new hires. Is the situation really so challenging?
I apologize for my unprofessional comments about the new hire.
Don't beat yourself up about it. I'll take a shot in the dark here. Is the troublemaker Daniel Rojas?
How did you come to that conclusion? Did our sales manager tip you off? I believe Daniel Rojas is his son, correct?
Now that you mention it, I see the familial resemblance. Elaine, I regret to inform you that Daniel's issues extend beyond being a mere nuisance. He has a criminal background.
A criminal? What's his crime? Is this situation my fault?
Take a breath, Elaine. I need you to recount everything you know about him. I'll ensure he's held accountable for his misconduct. But I'll need your assistance. You're likely more informed about him than I am. You're still on the premises, aren't you? Could you drop by my office immediately?
Of course, boss. I'm on my way.
I appreciate your cooperation. I'm aware you have a lot on your plate. I'll endeavor to keep our meeting brief.
This is a bit uncomfortable. Are the rumors true? Are you really the CEO? Elaine shared some information with me.
Indeed. My name is Brooke Andrews. And I'm the CEO of this company.
Well, I suppose that detail slipped my attention.
You'd know if you'd checked our company's website. My photo's on there. Also, during the welcome meeting for new employees, I addressed everyone. It surprises me you didn't realize. Especially after we swapped contact details.
But who would expect a CEO to be moonlighting as a janitor? Aren't you supposed to be in an office somewhere? Why were you in the restroom?
I do have an office where I work, during office hours. There's a valid reason I was tidying the bathrooms. The CEO's role is demanding, carrying the responsibility of all staff members. It would be arrogant to believe I alone drive our success. It's the collective effort of everyone here that propels our business. Janitorial staff included. I show my appreciation in several ways. Sometimes it's coffee. Sometimes assistance if they seem overwhelmed. Sometimes I finish up the cleaning so the janitors can leave early to spend time with their families. This, of course, only happens when I have some free time. Usually at the end of the day. All employees should be aware of this. Because I encourage them to greet me if they see me cleaning.
Strange, but alright. I'm still new, so that's probably why I wasn't aware.
You should be. I make this clear in my welcome speech for new hires. Your coworkers are all aware. I've even spoken with some of them about it.
Oh, well, I suppose it slipped my mind. I've always been bad at remembering details.
Elaine mentioned you were late to the welcome party. Missing the formalities such as introductions and the tour. My speech was right before we kicked off the festivities. Elaine said you were present by then. But it seems I wasn't compelling enough to hold your attention. I get forgetting over time, but it's only been a month. I suspect you just weren't paying attention.
So Elaine has been talking about me. But really, the CEO cleaning the toilets as a gesture of gratitude? That's bizarre. I've never heard of such a thing.
There are other reasons for me to clean the bathrooms. Sometimes, it's a retreat for those feeling unwell or lazy. Also, I get to observe employee interactions during downtime. As the CEO, it's crucial I ensure a healthy working environment. Being holed up in my office won't give me that insight.
I'm still not convinced. It's strange.
Many share that sentiment initially, but it doesn't bother me. Moreover, this routine gave me a glimpse into your character. Our company has no room for someone like you. You'll need to leave.
Leave? Are you saying I'm fired? You can't just do that. It's too abrupt.
Indeed, I can. You're terminated, Daniel Rojas. Please clear your desk and exit the premises immediately.
You don't have the right to do that. You may be the CEO, but you can't randomly sack people just because you dislike them.
Actually, I can. There are numerous valid reasons to fire you. Firstly, you're not doing your job. You brag about your special hiring circumstances and pass your work to colleagues.
Well, I am special. My dad is the sales manager, which affords me certain privileges. What will you do about my dad if you dismiss me?
Would you like to hear? I can explain in detail. If you don't leave, I'll have no choice but to ask your father to accept a demotion and salary cut.
Wait, why is he being penalized? I didn't do anything major. Why are you blowing things out of proportion?
Mr. Rojas, are you aware of the gravity of your actions? You not only display serious character flaws, but you've also assaulted me and our staff. I can tolerate being drenched, but I cannot tolerate your behavior. Euro forcing our janitor's head into a toilet and stealing their money. Do you realize that's assault and theft? I could have you arrested for these actions.
The only reason I acted that way was because I wasn't aware the CEO would be present among the employees. Had I known, I wouldn't have interacted with the custodial staff at all.
Such behavior suggests that you wouldn't hesitate to harass my workforce if I wasn't around. I can't employ someone with such a dismissive attitude towards my staff, willing to attack them while on duty. As the CEO, I'm committed to ensuring the safety of my team. Jim, the elderly man you targeted, was working here to help finance his granddaughter's college fees. Following your assault, he suffered a concussion and had to be hospitalized, which is why you didn't see him around.
I'm indifferent about that man. He was merely a janitor. Who would care?
I beg to differ. I can't tolerate someone like you posing a threat to our dedicated employees. And I find it concerning that even after all this, you don't see your actions as inappropriate. For the safety of the rest, I have no choice but to terminate your employment.
This is unjust, ma'am. It's an overreach of authority.
I'm in charge here. And you're no longer fit to be part of this team. You should have made an effort to excel at your tasks.
I'm still learning the ropes here. Remember, I'm a newcomer. I still have a great deal to learn, okay? Isn't that why you have a training program? To equip newcomers like me with the necessary skills?
Your colleagues have already begun to demonstrate their potential. Even the slow starters are showing a willingness to give their all. You, on the other hand, have contributed nothing but disruption and a severe criminal act. It's high time you mature, Mr. Rojas. This is a professional setting, not a playground where bullying is tolerated.
I promise to improve in the future. Surely, you aren't doing all this just because I was rude to that old guy, are you? I deserve preferential treatment. I'm unique. I should be exempt from this.
Indeed, you're unique. Because you got this job through an inside recommendation. Typically, individuals who land jobs this way have failed elsewhere. And while that doesn't guarantee their incompetence, it certainly doesn't vouch for their skills. That's why such individuals are often keen to prove their worth. And we're willing to hire them. Job interviews aren't always the most accurate measure of one's abilities.
What? I was under the impression that everyone was optimistic about my future here.
We were, indeed. We hold high hopes for all our employees. But it's clear now that your hiring was a mistake. Had it not been for your father's recommendation, you wouldn't have been hired at all. He excels at his job and has good rapport with his team. It's unfortunate that he will have to bear the consequences of something he didn't commit. But someone has to take responsibility.
That's not necessary, though. All I need to do is pull my weight, right?
No. Your dismissal is already finalized. However, in order to avoid further disruption, we've agreed that you can retain your employment status. As long as you avoid coming to the office. Given that you're unlikely to work, your father's salary will cover yours, effectively reducing him to a minimum wage.
That's absurd.
Alternatively, we can involve the legal system. As previously stated, you assaulted Jim. That's a crime punishable by law. We can report this to the police and resolve the matter in court.
Wait. Let's not rush things. Ma'am, we don't need to escalate this.
I concur. Your father wanted to spare you a criminal record. And Jim was willing to forgive as long as you didn't bother him further. You genuinely frightened him. Regardless, we can fire you. Or retain you at the cost of your father's salary. Regardless, you will reimburse Jim fully and cover his medical bills. This is more than generous. I trust you understand, Mr. Rojas.
All right, I'll refrain from such actions in the future. Just, please, don't do this to me. I didn't realize the severity of the situation. Let's have a discussion, okay?
Fine, we'll discuss further. Please, step into my office. However, don't anticipate any change in my decision. And don't attempt to intimidate me either. I didn't achieve my position by tolerating incompetence. As Brooke predicted, Daniel stormed into the office. However, her decision was unshakable. Accepting his dismissal seemed to be the only option left, mostly driven by the fear of his father's reaction. Nevertheless, his father's disappointment was profound. Their incessant disagreements culminated in Daniel being ejected from their home. With no employment and familial support, Daniel's whereabouts became a mystery. Maybe this is the fate of those who refuse to mature and show respect towards others. Over time, his belligerence and conceit led to societal rejection, a parallel to how a body repels a harmful virus. A fitting end indeed.